Good morning, you guys, and welcome to a special garden that we named Flora Lane because it's a long walk down like the service end of our driveway, and it used to be filled with liriope. Pulled it all out, planted a mixed border in here, and really just kind of learning the soil conditions here, because in some places it gets very saturated and in other places it stays a little bit drier. So a little bit of a learning curve in this garden, but it's really starting to look beautiful. Well, let me show you what's blooming today. You ready to get your bloom on? Well, let's go. So last year I did an entire border of Sunpatiens and it looked really beautiful, loved it. But this year I decided to try something a little bit new. I went with Sunpatiens and just kind of spaced them and made like a long, beautiful border. And I have to tell you, I love it. This garden retains a little bit more moisture, and I feel like the Sunpatiens are going to do a little bit better in this spot. It does get full sun, mostly on this end of the bed, towards the back of the bed. Gets a little bit more shade, but I'll show you that as we move down the bed. Now I have, like I mentioned before, a mixture of annuals, perennials, some bulbs. Critters have pulled some bulbs, which has been a little bit of a challenge, but this garden looks really pretty right now. And I want to talk to you a little bit about what's blooming, some of the challenges that I'm facing, because I've been facing some challenges with some wildlife. So we're gonna ignore my husband's truck floor mat. Not sure why it's there hanging in my garden, but we'll just look at it from this way. For starters, we have this beautiful Clematis. These are some black-eyed Susans that I relocated from other parts of the property that I dug and divided. Gomphrena, Truffula Pink, you can see it's already been nibbled on. I'm pretty sure it's rabbits. Could be a groundhog, but I think it's rabbits. So in the immediate future, to just protect them right away, I went with these garden cloches. They're wire and they have like a bar in the bottom so you can really jam them in the ground, and that's helped me kind of get some of them to bounce back. I just ordered more. You know, these are really good for on the fly. I have also been using a groundhog and rabbit repellent, which I'm finding also works very well, but don't underestimate the power of cloches. I actually use them for seedlings, and like I said, I use them on the fly as soon as I notice any kind of damage. I mean, I don't like love how they look per se, but they work. Moving along the border here, I've got some Sunpatiens with some black-eyed Susans filling in. I actually didn't plant these here because they get kind of tall and I like to plant them across the border, but they must have just reseeded themselves there, and I'm just gonna leave them for now. I planted some China asters that I started from seed, some Gomphrena that I started from seed, rabbit, groundhog, whatever, definitely did a little bit of damage. I've got a hydrangea here, some more black-eyed Susans, moonbeam coreopsis, and I planted a 2026 variety, Southern Blaze Bright Pink Phlox. It is really very beautiful. And it's a shame that some of it got eaten, but I did spray it, and since spraying it, it started blooming again. So that tells you that that spray does in fact work. Let's see what else we got. I've got back in black sedum, stone crop sedum. I got a gorgeous Penstemon that I planted years ago. Started there, reseeded over here, and I just love it. But the one thing that I've noticed is after a rain, it does definitely flop around. So either I have to keep up garden stakes or support them pretty early. This year I got to it a little bit late, so I used my little half moon stakes over here. You can see they still kind of fell down. As you can see, the blooms are kind of all over the place. But this one here, I actually left my half moon stakes in, and I think it propped it up really well and really beautifully. So I think I'm gonna do the same thing for this spot over here, because I like the way that kind of looks, don't you? Like it's billowing and just really beautiful. So I think I'm gonna add more half moon stakes, taller ones though. As you see, I added a taller one towards the back. I have tall ones and short ones, but the taller ones are better for this Penstemon. I wish I could tell you the variety. I don't note what it is, but I will tell you that with Penstemon, you got to be really careful if you live in an area where deer frequent, because they will eat it. They love to eat Penstemon. Back here, I want to show you this. Clematis. This is Taiga, or Taiga, however you want to say it. It's starting to kind of wrap things up a little bit, but not so cool. It's so pretty. I've been training it to grow up the fence. And then over here, I've got 2 perennials meant to be queen nectarine, agastache. One looks a little bit bigger than the other. I planted them both last year, not sure why. They will get to be pretty tall and wide, which is why I spaced them out. But they do attract pollinators, native plants, super easy to grow, and it's gonna be really beautiful. I can't wait to see it flower. In this planter, I decided to just go with all geraniums. Now, I just deadheaded these literally on Wednesday, and look at how much they came back. When you're deadheading geraniums, you don't want to cut just right at the top where the flowers are. You want to go all the way deep in the plant where the branch meets the stem to really get in, cut it back, and you'll get lots of gorgeous flowers. I mean, that looks incredible. And for just a few days growth. I mean, it's just blooming so much since I cut it back. You should have seen how many less flowers there were just a few days ago when I deadheaded this versus now. Huge difference. I've got Angelonia Angel Face Perfectly Pink, one of my favorite summer flowering annuals. This will bloom well into fall, and the deer should leave it alone. Hopefully the rabbits and groundhogs will as well. I'll let you know. I've got some more Gomphrena, Sedum Autumn Joy, some more Angelonia, another Clematis, some bee balm that's not blooming yet. I've got some daylilies in here, some Phlox Opening Act. I'll have to put the varieties on the screen. I just planted these last year. They look beautiful. I've got another one down there. Another Stonecrop Sedum. Another hydrangea. I've got a lot of black-eyed Susans in here. They do so well here. And I've dug and divided them, and they just look great late summer to fall. Got some roses back here. I do need to deadhead. Don't judge. This yarrow was here when we moved in. I wish the bunnies would eat it so that I would dig it out and not want it. I just don't love this one. I don't love the color, but I mean, it flowers, it's here. So I don't waste perennials if they're thriving. And this one certainly does. It was planted in a shadier spot, and I moved it over here, and it seems to like this spot a lot better. But I have to say, I don't love the color. I don't really love the flowers, but it's just meh for me. I'm a huge fan of yarrow, but this variety doesn't really do it for me. What else do we have here? Some more Phlox. I've got some daylilies over there that are getting ready to bloom. Some more Clematis on the fence. My Liatris, Gay Feather. A couple years ago, the bunnies did a number on this one. It just hacked it at the bottom and then just left the stems. I was so upset. So I wound up putting scat mats around it. That helped. I have been spraying these because I know there's a bunny present. Hopefully, and ultimately it will leave them alone, because I love those beautiful stalks of flowers. They're just so pretty, and they attract a lot of pollinators. I've got some echinacea in here. Not sure the variety offhand. Some cranesbill. I've got some beautiful heucherella. Look at those pretty pink flowers. And the variegation in the foliage. So pretty. I've got some Amstonia Stormcloud. Some more Clematis. I've got a hardy hibiscus here. I planted it when we first moved in, and gosh darn, I do not remember the variety. I'm gonna have to drill down and wait till it blooms, and then I'll let you know. I know it is by Proven Winners, but I don't remember the name offhand. I've also got a bunch of hostas in here that I dug and divided from other areas on the property, as well as those astilbes. I've got lungwort, pinkablu. All of my lungwort this year, just now, is being affected by some powdery mildew. I think it's just the random weather we've been having. It was warm, then it was really cold, then we were having some really hot days, and I think it's just affected the foliage on the plant. So hopefully they'll bounce back. I've got some Solomon seal here. that I planted when we first moved in. I love this perennial. I had it in my old garden, and I love using it in a vase with my cut flowers. Really beautiful. I've got some sedum, autumn joy back there. I had some bleeding hearts. Looks like I've got a honeysuckle there. I don't even think I've ever noticed that. This is a lilac that's never bloomed. I didn't plant it. It's not getting nearly enough sunlight at this end of the bed. So I just don't think it's ever really gonna do well. I could try digging it out, but I mean, that would be a lot of root to dig out. So I'm probably just gonna leave it. Although maybe I'll cut it back and see what it does. I guess I could trim some branches above and see, like maybe trimming these branches and seeing if that helps get a little bit more light over here. But I just planted some other lilacs in another area of my garden that gets a lot more sun. So, I mean, I might just call that a day. So Flora Lane sits across from my cottage garden. I've got this beautiful whiskey barrel planter here. These are heavy. I bought these from Home Depot in my old house, my old garden. They were really, I was very impressed. I did not think they were gonna be this heavy, and they're beautiful. This one is planted with bacopa, some sweet potato vine, and some apple blossom begonias. And I do also have some euphorbia diamond frost, as well as a couple of canna lilies. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about dealing with groundhogs and rabbits, because it is a challenge. And I also deal with deer here as well. So I do spray my plants with deer repellent every couple of weeks to keep the deer away. That significantly helps. But lately, the problem that I've been having is with the rabbits. Not as much groundhog. I think it's more rabbit. So again, I've used scat mats before. I started using these obelisks in the last couple of years, which helps. I certainly use them when I plant my sunflowers, for example, because they'll eat those. I mean, they waste them almost every year. If I don't cover them with an obelisk, they're eaten to a nub and they're gone, which is a shame, because you know, once you start those seeds, if they get eaten, they're done. So those are a couple things that I do. I do also use repellent. I like to use rabbit and groundhog out, or groundhog and rabbit out. I don't know, I'm going to tag it here in the video. That I've found works really well. I really use a mix of methods for keeping them at bay, because this whole garden is not fenced in and there's just nothing I can do about it. I mean, you deal with wildlife, and you know, it kind of is what it is if you want to grow flowers. So this bed is going to significantly grow and change as the season moves on. I kind of feel like this bed comes into its own like during the summer, heading into fall. I really need to kind of work on the way that it looks in spring into summer. It is coming along, but to me it needs some work. Still beautiful though. I really love the impatiens, and I'm definitely going to do that again, I think, next year. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's tour. I'll see you in the next video. Enjoy a beautiful day.